versus Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There's a look at one of the most iconic sports venues in the lower 48, built back in 1957 under the title of City Stadium. We are at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. They have certainly got it rolling of late. Winners of 6 in a row.
And it's simple. The more you win in the regular season, the more likely you play at home in the postseason. And that can take you deep into January.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. 6'4" Jordan Love taking the field for the first time. The 2020 first-round pick from Utah State set to lead Green Bay.
I guess we have to nickname him the thrower, aren't we, or something like that.
After last week?
I mean, man, you're talking about over 400 yards throwing the ball. The running backs and everyone else may be looking at him like, hey, don't forget us. And he'd probably just tell him, listen, you want to get involved?
Go out.
Go out and catch some passes. I'll make sure you touch it.
Love going to throw right away. Oh, the first play of the game going to be intercepted. Picked up by Joey Porter Jr.
Wow, just one snap in, partner, and the complexion of this game has already changed because for the defensive side, they just handed their offense a short field and a big early advantage. And even though it's only the first snap of the game, we're going to look back on this one and see if it has lasting effects as this game moves on.
First and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. Here's Sermon. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. Second and goal from the 1. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Cordero Patterson. His 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Steelers have taken the early lead on the road here at Lambeau. Extra point put through by Boswell. And that makes the score 7-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape up past the 30. The Packers offense here coming back out for their second drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
A check on Jacobs from a week ago. 18 carries, 94 yards.
And he's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now you've got to think offensive strategy, maybe a little more play action. And
his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Picked off by Asante Samuel Jr. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
For a team who came in here on a healthy winning streak, we're seeing some uncharacteristically bad play thus far. And that streak is definitely in jeopardy if this offense keeps giving the ball away and can't mount a few drives of their own.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. On the handoff, Gainwell. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. The numbers on the ground for Gainwell last week. 21 carries, 112 yards, and a touchdown.
I think he's exactly where he wants to be coming into a game, partner, because he has to still be riding the momentum from last week when he broke the century mark in rushing and had one of his best individual efforts of the season. I would expect that there's more from him on the way after that type of a game, and I know his teammates and coaches, they feel exactly the same way.
And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
That was good, tough running right up the middle, and if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Again, a run with Gainwell. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
Here's Sermon. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. They give them 2 yards there as they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work.
Back to Sermon on 1st down. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Gainwell. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Just power football there down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible, but all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. He's piloted 2 drives so far, and unfortunately not very well piloted. Both led to interceptions. Now they're facing the deficit. Another touchdown after that previous pick. Starting over here, 1st and 10. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. Throwing. Love. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting them back on the sack. Partner, we had their game last week where they had 6 sacks, so a little bit more momentum here again in the 1st quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase it.
They were so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. This defense for the Steelers, they were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
And what keyed their victory? The pass rush. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks, and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well. Hard to throw the ball downfield when all you're seeing is opposing jerseys come at you.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to have a Packers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field, because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed 1st down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
1st down, going to the air with Love. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Alex Highsmith. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Well, partners, the first quarter too early to start talking about needing a comeback. They're down 2 touchdowns already, and that sack, that disrupts this drive. They need something to go right on offense, and they need it to happen soon.
Under pressure, they got him again. Alex Highsmith, his 2nd sack of the night.
Well, that was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Now Austin. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. And they'll begin on the ground with Gainwell. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
I think we all suspected that they were going back to him after he found the end zone on his last carry, and they kept the positive momentum going there. Another nice run by him.
Back to Gainwell here on 2nd down. You look at this Packers defense. They put together a strong effort last week in the win over the Bears, CD.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw. They ended up getting 4 sacks in the game, stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire time, made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield.
And that's what they told us this week, that pressure on the QB is key. That is caught, and he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. That'll go as a pickup of 8. A pretty sizable deficit here in the first quarter. This defense will probably need to get off the field in those situations on 3rd down.
And you and I both know in this huddle before that last 3rd down play, that's exactly what they talked about. Let's make a play. Let's get off the field. Let's reverse the momentum. Instead, they got hit with another 1st down, almost back to the drawing board.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's Rodgers. That's DK Metcalf running the slant. He's got it. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers 33. A good pickup there of 22. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary. Figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
From the 28, it's 2nd and 5. Straight ahead, it's Sermon. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a 1st down. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Not a big run, not an explosive run, but they've held the ball for plenty of plays on this drive. They're just trying to impose their will on the defense right now.
This is 2nd and 8. And this is Sermon. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It'll be a gain of 3, and it also takes us to the end of the first quarter play. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Here is 3rd and 5. Throwing is Rodgers. And he's got it. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
And they'll turn to the power game to try to get in. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Cordero Patterson, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Steelers take a 3-touchdown lead. Boswell good with the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. I couldn't take the chance. This will be returned from the goal line. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Green Bay offense ready to take over. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah,
taking it right down Broadway. Touchdown, Packers. Josh Jacobs with career touchdown number 60. And the Packers are able to cut into that deficit. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Let's look at Kenneth Gainwell as this offense comes back out. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. 50 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed first down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on second down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
On second down, here's Rodgers. Looking middle, and that's complete. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down. The Steelers at 7-1 now on the year. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
On 1st and 10, it's Gainwell. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
Rodgers now to throw. Flushed out right. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Now it's Rodgers. I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete. 4th down, Corliss Waitman now on to punt. And he'll send this one into the cold Lambeau night.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
Here comes the offense again, and let's focus on Josh Jacobs for a moment. Now, the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with a run so far. 2nd down, Jacobs once more. And from the 4, they get it to the 8 on a pickup of 4.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And he's going to have a Packers 1st down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
They brought in a heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play, but we have seen them throw out of that formation, and sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one, wound up hitting him for a 1st down.
Jordan Love ready on 1st down here. He's got space past the 25. And they will finally get him down to the 27-yard line. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer 1st down.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the 1st down.
A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete. And, Charles, you think about what this defense has had to prepare for. They're in for a battle. I mean, they're facing a team that is working on a 6-game winning streak.
And that can be intimidating when you think about it in those terms, but I think what they need to do is make some sort of a statement early in this game, whether it's a turnover, a takeaway, a key sack on 3rd down, a 3-and-out. Something lets the other guys know that you mean business. Figuratively, throw the first punch and make it a good one.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. Well, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes, those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. From the gun, a give to Gainwell. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a 1st down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Now 2nd and 9 from the 10. Rodgers. To the right side, and he's got Moore complete. Touchdown! Sky Moore. His second touchdown on the season, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation in a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation, because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This to the back of the landing zone. He'll return it from the 1. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Here comes the offense again, and let's focus on Josh Jacobs for a moment. Now, he's having himself a little bit of a banner game. His team right now, though, losing.
Needs a little bit of help, and I kind of equate it to a basketball game where you have the big score, and sometimes your strategy is, okay, he can go ahead and have all of his points. Let's hold down everyone else, and that's the way you win the game. And right now, he needs everyone else to start scoring, quote-unquote, as he's been.
Yeah, and he's hoping to keep it close so maybe they can keep it on the ground, not start to go through the air as much. Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 4 yards the pickup, first down. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain, so you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football, because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
On second down, Jacobs. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. The offense on third down tonight, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. To pass, here's Jordan Love. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be taken down with a first down as they get about 14 out of that one, and we go to the 2-minute warning. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. To throw now, here's Love. Got his man, that's Luke Musgrave. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Well, that's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again. And the throw and the catch were just fine, but against zone coverage, when you run a drag route, what you're hoping for is he makes the catch and makes someone miss, and they don't there. Very difficult route to run when everyone has their eyes back towards the quarterback and they're able to see the route develop.
That'll give them 8 that time, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple. Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. 2 yards left on second down from the 9. Going back to Love. And that's going to be caught. Oh, a one-handed grab there. He's got it for the touchdown.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in the second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good, and that cuts the lead to 28-14. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Let's look at Kenneth Gainwell as this offense comes back out. And it may just be the second quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books. But it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It's only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. And they'll try and run for the first with Sermon. And he'll get it out to midfield. Let's see, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. From the gun, here's a run by Gainwell. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Steelers out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started up at Cleveland Browns Stadium in Cleveland, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. Amon-Ra St. Brown leading the way with 3 touchdown catches. From there, we'll head to Buffalo to check on what's happening with the Bills at Highmark Stadium. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Carolina Panthers. Josh Allen sharp in the victory as his guys get back within a game of 500. And finally, on Monday Night Football, we'll wrap up the weekend with a good one between the Arizona Cardinals and the Houston Texans. We saw a strong first half out of running back Kenneth Gainwell. He wound up finding the end zone on a touchdown run to help give his guys the advantage here at the break.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Steeler offense now with the football first here to begin the third quarter. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see one or two guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4 on second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And that is incomplete.
The coverage was good, but I just wonder if they absolutely fooled the quarterback on that play. I think he was expecting something else, ended up with nowhere to throw the football successfully.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, it's too early to figure out what kind of adjustments this defense made at halftime, but that's a good start to the second half. They can now afford to give up more points and fall further behind, so well done to force the punting situation here.
Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt.
Under pressure, and down he goes in the end zone, and that's a safety.
That's exactly what they were aiming for defensively, a huge early play that cuts off any opposing momentum at the knees. As soon as that snap was made, they were flying to the ball and through the line. Great call from the coaching staff, and even better execution.
And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. Pulled in at the 24. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. The drive starts with a carry by Sermon. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 68 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now. Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
Rodgers now on 1st down. It's caught inside the 25. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. DK Metcalf, 54 yards. And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something, when you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. But sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. That's going to be taken at the goal line, and he'll return it. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. That often runs you into a penalty.
Loving the Packers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 11. Love now. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that will bring up 2nd down. Here's Love. Looking deep here for Dobbs. It's caught inside the 25. And it's a Packers touchdown. Romeo Dobbs with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Packers get a bit closer. Matt LaFleur, he tells the offense, stay out there, go for 2. They'll try to run it with Jacobs. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
I have to admit, I love the excitement of the 2-point try. You know, to see what's going to happen, and it happens pretty quickly, doesn't it? You get an answer, and in this case, it was unsuccessful for the guys trying it.
Completely unrelated. I just realized that I stole both of your pins in this last game. My bad, partner.
Hey, that's okay. Well, and just in the time they went for 2.
Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And they'll run with Sermon to begin the drive. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33. So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
Here's Rodgers to throw. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Rodgers to the right side, incomplete to Metcalf. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Now a handoff. Coming left is Gainwell. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. And they'll stay on the ground with Gainwell again. He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
I don't care what the emphasis is in the NFL at any given time. Every defense is still going to say their #1 goal every game is stop the run. And right now, they're not doing that, and that really chips away at your confidence.
3rd and 4. Rodgers. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers 30. And they get 10 yards there and convert on third.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down, because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
So from the 25, this is 2nd and 5. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. On 2nd down, it's Sermon. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 74 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense get a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Sermon now on 1st and 10. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Consecutive positive runs for him on the last 2 snaps. He certainly appears to be trying to put the offense on his back and just move them down the field when his number is called. The way he's running it, I keep going back to him.
Here's a 2nd and 5. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. Now he's going to get it on the jet sweep. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal. An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right? But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed nowadays. These guys look like running backs, even though they're playing out on the perimeter.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Sermon will score. Touchdown, Steelers. Well, nothing fancy there, Charles. You had 3 tight ends on the field. They were going to run the football. The defense knew it, but the defense couldn't stop them.
And I haven't met an offensive line yet that doesn't get more satisfaction out of running the football into the end zone than pass protecting. They had determination on their side, and they got it done.
Boswell good with the extra point, and the lead is now 24. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This taken in at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Now Love. Short throw. He's got Kraft. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On now is the Packers punter, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And they will take over 1st and 10. Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. They're just looking to do more of the same. They were good in the first half. They've extended their lead so far here in the second half. Oh, they're just looking good on hitting on all cylinders right now.
And sometimes that means a head coach who really has a finger on the pulse of the team may not have anything to say at all. May tell the rest of the coaches, just back it off a little bit. This team has it under control. I remember hearing about Bob Knight years ago in basketball, getting ready to give the final speech before the gold medal game in '84. And on the board, Michael Jordan had written, "Coach, after all we've been through, there's no way we're losing tonight." He didn't even give a pregame speech.
Wow, interesting. Well, right now, no speech is needed. Ball at the 33, 2nd and 9. Up the middle, here's Sermon. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Well, partner, they've been running it well the entire game, and the big guys up front, they're a huge reason why. And now they're reaping the benefits as they continue to open up big holes and gain nice yardage.
On 3rd down, here's Sermon. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. 97 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries. He continues to be effective running the football, a big reason that they have the lead.
And I love one of the quotes that I read about him where he said of himself, "I love it when a team just hops on my back and I just carry them along."
They run behind center with Gainwell. Taken down at the 47-yard line.
They know that old expression, "It's not my night." It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
I don't care what anyone says. I want a big-time back in this kind of yardage each and every time I step on the field. A tone setter, these guys are hard to find.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second-half blowout material. Patterson on the carry. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Lambeau. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. On 2nd down, Gainwell looking for space. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down. Again, a run with Gainwell. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
Can we just take that run? Turn it into kind of a clip and save because that tells you everything you need to know about this drive. They've been moving the ball awfully well.
2nd and 6. Straight ahead, it's Sermon. And he's got this pretty close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Packers' 19-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he will have a Steelers first down by about a yard as they're able to convert on 3rd and 2.
It's amazing how much advice defensive players get on 3rd down. You hear the bench screaming out, watch the draw, watch the screen, watch the pass here. Very rarely do they reference watching the fullback, and he slipped through and picked up a first down.
On 1st and 10, it's Gainwell. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up 1st and goal.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
Here's Sermon. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Again, Sermon. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
He's going to be marked down very close to the 1st down marker, but it looks like he's a yard short. 4 yards, that gets him close to the goal line, but it also brings up a 4th and goal. This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, does it?
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Cordero Patterson punching it in from a yard away. And the Steelers start to open this lead even wider here in the 4th. Extra point put through by Boswell. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. This has been frustrating for them to this point. They have not looked the same as they did coming in, riding that impressive 6-game win streak. Love now to pass on 1st down. Throw left side complete. That's Jacobs. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 19 yards there on the catch and run. Well, with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a 1st down.
Well, we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late point. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Love's throw finds its target, Dobbs. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
1st down, Love to pass. That's complete. He finds Jaden Reed. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Second down and a yard. Love looking to throw it. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. This pass caught. It's Dobbs with it. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. They swing that out wide to Jacobs. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It's second and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Love. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Tucker Kraft, his first touchdown on the year. And the Packers get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit.
They went 5 wide in that offensive set and racing going.
And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. So they called it a touchdown originally. This will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And the lead is down to 24. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And this doesn't work. The Steelers recover it. The risk-reward of the onside kick, when you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things. Now
he's stripped. He lost the football, and the Packers pick it up, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
You and I have been around teams, and they all have goals for games, don't they? And every team we've ever talked to says what?
No turnover.
Don't turn the ball over. 0. And they were that close to getting it done. Won't cost them today, but they'll hate that when they're watching the game tape.
They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be second down. Play action this time with Love. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And they finally put an end to this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37. This spot in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. This is Patterson. Reed Blankenship delivering the hit.
Good solid gain on 1st down, about what you'd expect from the big guy carrying the ball.
from the 35. Here's second down and 7. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively, kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
But you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Now Patterson. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
As diverse as the running game has become in the NFL, there's still a place for the fullback position. And on that play, he gained nice yardage.
And he's got the first down as he gets it to the 8. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
3rd and inches, they just hand it to the big battering ram there. That's football 101, isn't it? That's bread and butter. Turn around and hand it to the big fella and let him get forward for a first down.
And they will take a knee here. Under the lights in primetime, this offense, they gave the nation quite a show, putting up that many points to come away with what will certainly be a memorable win for them.
And, Brandon, I think it's as simple as this. Some players, some teams, they're just meant for the big stage. And when they get a chance to play in this type of atmosphere, where all eyes are on them and all the lights are shining brightly, they show up and they show out.
So for Pittsburgh, they're setting themselves up as a major contender as they move to 8-1 now on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, for the Packers, the loss will drop them to 6-2 now on the year. And they'll try to get back on the beam next week as they'll head to Tampa to take on the Bucs. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. From Lambeau, good night, everybody.